So let me start with a positive on USC.
Okay.
The positive is that D'Anton Lynn is the real deal. The
We think
defensive
so.
coordinator. I think so.
Yeah.
Took over the defense last year, made the whole thing better. And I think he's going to make it better again. There was a huge effort to improve the defensive line, which I think they addressed well through the portal. And that makes me feel a lot better about USC coming into this year and their potential. They were 95th last year in yards allowed per contact, 88th in pressure rate. They got no push up front.
Right.
So they got to find a way to improve that. I think with what they did in the portal, they will find a way to do that. I like D'Anton Lynn. I think he will concoct a way with his attacking aggressive scheme,
Of course,
to get a little bit more of a push up front. Outside of that, though, Dan, I'm mixed on USC.
That's okay.
I'm really mixed here. And I am trying not to let it be or let it sound like East Coast bias.
Okay.
Why don't I hand it over to you? You're always the more balanced Southern California kid talking about all things USC.
I hope so. I don't know. USC people probably don't feel that way.
They definitely don't because you're an Oregon guy. But
yeah.
But we never review how we feel about these teams. We're always kind of coming at this cold, you and I talking it through. It works better that way.
Well, we did it a little bit on the first episode, our big picture, that it was clear that I'm higher on USC than you are this season.
But talk me through your like USC logic here.
Okay. The case for USC is not terribly complicated. The case for USC is it's Jayden Maiava's first season being the guy this entire offseason. The running back room is likely worse. Transfers coming in after losing Woody Marks. I mean, he's done career-wise, and Quentin Joyner transfers to Texas Tech. They're a little bit thinner at receiver, losing the receivers that they lost, Deuce Robinson, Zachariah Branch, Kyron Hudson, but the pair of Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon, I think, are quality, if not good. Sort of disappeared at times, but that's never fully on receivers, just offensive struggles, and Miller Moss having an up and down year and trying to figure out what the vision of this offense is going to be. Offensive line solidified last year, which was a nice improvement to see. I think it'll still be solid this season, even with the losses that they've suffered. Tight end is in a good place. I just think there are options for this offense. And now the people who like to criticize Lincoln Riley, usually in a fair way, will say, offense has never really been the issue with Lincoln Riley. He has solidified the defense. They bring in transfers. Once again, they're beefier up front because they were not good, I don't believe, against the run last season. The secondary has portal guys. They're healthier at linebacker. They lost key dudes on all three levels of this defense. Of course, everybody does. But I think there's enough back. I don't think Lincoln Riley has forgotten how to coach. If anything, he's forgotten how to finish. And I think going into the offseason, there is that's such a clear note on this team. Like, what's the plan in the fourth quarter? Whether it's being better in terms of stamina and physique, whatever. I don't think that makes sense. Better in terms of physique? We can all be better in terms of physique, Ty.
Who among us?
But in terms of stamina and plan and mental acuity at the end of games, here's the plan, here's what we're doing. And I think they will be. They weren't far off last year. But a lot of teams are not good in close games and don't get it fixed. I think USC can. I think they have smart coaches. I think they have good enough players. And I think offensively, I'm not terribly worried. I think they'll be able to run the ball fine, not maybe in an electric fashion. And then on defense, they address what they needed to address. I don't think they have star power on this defense, maybe besides for Kamari Ramsey at safety, who, by the way, Sierra Canyon graduate.
There you go.
Shout out Blazers. I just think there's enough. I think there's enough there. And when you look at a lot of this conference, there are so many questions. And USC does have, just like they kept D'Anton Lynn, right? There's a good amount of continuity involved that I think, like the question I have about Nebraska is, can they get to 30 points a game? I think USC can get to 30 to 34 points a game. They just need to keep the other team to 28 consistently, good or bad. And that remains a question to me. The schedule is interesting.
It's kind of ridiculous is what it is.
It's interesting. I know they have Oregon late, and they have Notre Dame and Illinois on the road. But I'm not crazy high on Illinois. We talked about that on the previous episode. They should win their first 4 games. They should start out 4-0. They should have a decent shot against Michigan in transition because that's in LA and they have a bye the week before that. And Michigan has Wisconsin the week before that, before traveling out west. Like a bye before a tough road game at Nebraska when Nebraska plays the week before, albeit at home. They get Iowa at home. And Oregon's on the road, and that's a tough, 2-week stretch. UCLA's in transition. Like, I don't even need to squint that much to say, okay, they can go 8-4, 9-3 if they're able to win a tight, low-scoring game against Iowa, which is going to be difficult.
Sure.
And beat Michigan at home or beat Illinois on the road. I don't think those are impossible things with what USC is bringing to the table.
There are only 2 teams in the schedule that I look at and I say, yeah, they're definitely worse than those teams.
Oregon and Notre Dame.
Oregon and Notre Dame, both
right.
of which are on the road. But I think games like Illinois and Nebraska are coin flips. I think games like Michigan and Iowa, both of which are at home, are definitely losable games, but maybe a little bit less of a coin flip.
Right.
Given the circumstances. So, yeah, I look at the schedule and I think I see the same things that you do. There are good teams on this. Situationally, it kind of works to their favor. But let me backtrack just a little bit for a second. And by the way, I take your point. They're going to score 30-some points a game. They're going to get 400-plus yards a game. Like, that's sort of Lincoln Riley's deal.
Right.
We got to get to 35. We got to find a way to keep the other team to 28. That's been his story the entirety of his time as a head coach.
Right.
There's nothing new in that argument. But to your point about they've got to be better in close games, USC in some ways is kind of like the anti-Illinois from a year ago. If Illinois was winning all those close games, if they were 5-1 in close games and their second order win total was less than their actual win total in real life, USC was on the other end of that. Right? USC second order wins was much higher because they found themselves in close games and they couldn't close. What have they actually done, though, to prove to you that they will be better?
Well, they changed their quarterback 2/3 of the way into the season.
They changed their quarterback, and I like Jayden Maiava, I do.
Yeah.
But what do you think about him as a steadying force to get past some of those issues they had last year?
Oh, he's a wild card. He will,
he's
when
a
in
total
doubt,
wild
chuck
card.
It. Yeah.
And that's my point. I think he's an exciting player. I liked him when they got him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure he's going to be like this bedrock to lean on that's suddenly going to make USC bulletproof or more bulletproof in these close games.
I am with you. It wasn't Miller Moss last year. It just wasn't. He was not the guy at the end of these games. So if you're talking about Illinois specifically, Illinois had a better quarterback and a better fourth quarter managing head coach, for sure, and coaching staff altogether. 100% true. USC went to overtime with a college football semifinalist at home in Penn State, correct?
Yes, correct.
Tyler Warren had only 508 total yards in that game against SC. They were one freak, very impressive play from Michigan away from beating Michigan at Michigan, correct?
Correct.
They were in position. They beat LSU and Texas A&M to bookend the season, correct?
Correct.
So I'm just saying they weren't outclassed last year. Even the Notre Dame game was a one touchdown game halfway through the fourth quarter, which is a sunny way of looking at 2 pick sixes to finish things out.
I was going to say, I mean, if we want to talk about Jayden Maiava giving them this lift in the fourth quarter, they were right there with Notre Dame. He threw for 300 and some odd yards, but threw a 99-yard pick six to Christian Gray and a 100-yarder to Xavier Watts.
No, he was a great personal trainer. He got Notre Dame secondary members a ton of exercise in that game. But all said, all told, he put USC in position to win and put USC in position to lose that game. But they weren't outclassed by a team in the national championship for the majority of that game.
Sure.
This is me wearing, Lincoln Riley Cardinal and gold glasses right now.
Wow. Maybe you should go work for Ryan Abraham.
I should.
You're really in on USC here, aren't you?
I might get a raise. No, I'm just saying that's the case for USC. If you're going to pick a team, an emerging team candidate, one who played with the best of college football and came up just short late, is a team that hypothetically could win more 50-50 games because they were in position to win those games. Obviously, the case against USC is the reason they lost those games was happening week after week after week. It was poor preparation, poor game management. It was, Miller Moss making poor decisions, Lincoln Riley making poor decisions, not running the ball enough, giving Maryland their only, I think, Big Ten win of the season, right? The way they lost to Minnesota, the way they lost to Washington. You can go on and on. But I think the talent is there to play 4 quarters of decent football on both sides of the ball. They needed to beef up. They beefed up. They needed to add talent to the secondary. They added talent to the secondary.
They did. No, all this is true. You're not wrong. All this is true.
I would love a higher end running back. I would love a slightly less of a wild card quarterback.
You're not in on a transfer from New Mexico?
Buddy, Cam Scatterbo came in from Sac State, okay? All due respect to Sac State.
Yeah, Oregon's starting a left tackle from Nevada. Yeah. No, I get it. Listen, this is fair. This is all fair. This is all correct.
Yeah.
And I think it's an 8-4 team.
I just look at this conference, and you look up and down, not even just their schedule, but like Minnesota's starting over. Michigan State has a ton left to do. Rutgers has a ton left to do. Like, there's just so much that is just up in the air for so many of the teams in the Big Ten. And USC is just like chugging along, hoping to get like 15% better. And if USC gets 15% better this season, they're going 9-3.
Yeah, they're going 9-3. They get 15% better. Listen, everything you're saying is accurate. I am going to be a little bit more cautious on SC because
that's fine.
and I've said this a couple times now through the course of all these previews. I don't know how you fix that late game situation, where you're in close games. Some of it's luck, granted, but I don't know how you fix that.
Not after that many times.
Not after that many times. After that many times, it becomes more of a trend, more of a feature than a bug. And so I'm going to be cautious here. I think 8-4. I could see 7-5, but I'll say 8-4 just to be a little bit more generous. And I'm excited to see Jayden Maiava. I like him a lot. I'm excited to see a full year with him, and now he's had a full off season to kind of be the guy. But he does have a 5-star kind of breathing down his neck.
Oh, and Hassan Longstreet? Yeah.
If it doesn't go, there will be an option later in the year again, like there was to replace Miller Moss. But I'm on 8-4.
USC is they're the reverse Jesse Pinkman. But he just can't keep getting away with it. USC can't keep not getting away with it.
I know. All right.
Yeah.